So, when you hear the name Sun Tzu, what comes to mind? Right, the art of war. Legendary general, master strategist. I mean, his ideas have been used in war rooms and boardrooms for, what, centuries now. But what if I told you his greatest secret, his most powerful teaching, had nothing to do with fighting armies and everything to do with how we live our daily lives? That's exactly what we're diving into.
Yeah, this quote. The supreme victory is to win without fighting. I mean, you've heard this a million times, right? In business meetings, in sports movies, it's everywhere. And for good reason. It's the ultimate goal. Get what you want without having to go through a brutal, costly fight.
But here's where we take a turn. What if that's not just a clever strategy for the battlefield? What if it's a blueprint for, well, for everything? For how we handle our jobs, our relationships, even our own ambitions. Imagine being able to move through life with way less friction and a whole lot more success. That's the idea here.
Okay, so this brings us to a really fascinating parallel idea found in these lesser-known treatises. Just like Sun Tzu talks about a supreme victory in war, he also lays out this concept of a supreme life. And honestly, getting a handle on this one idea, it could seriously change how you think about effort and what it really means to achieve something.
So what is this supreme life? It's simple, but it's deep. It's to live without striving. Now, I know what you're thinking. Without striving? So just sit on the couch all day? No, that's not it at all. This has nothing to do with being lazy or passive. It's about getting so in sync, so perfectly aligned with your circumstances that the right action just happens. It flows out of you naturally without you having to force it with all your might.
But look, to really get what it means to live without striving, we have to look at what most of us do every single day. We have to understand the alternative. And these texts, they describe our normal way of being, this constant striving, as a kind of war we're waging against ourselves, a battle that's just quietly sucking all our energy away.
And this is such a powerful idea, phantom conflicts. Think about it. When we're striving, we're not just dealing with what's right in front of us. We are absolutely wearing ourselves out, worrying about what might happen. We're fighting all these imaginary battles in our heads, planning for 100 different outcomes that probably won't even happen. It's exhausting.
And you can see the contrast so clearly here. On the one hand, you've got the striver. They're anxious, they're tired, their mind is always off in the future, worrying about what if. But then you have the non-striver. They're energized, they're present, they're focused only on what is happening right now. All that energy that the striver is wasting on phantoms, the non-striver has it saved up, ready for the one moment that actually matters.
So how can you tell when you're striving? Well, the texts give us some really practical signs to look for, and they're physical. Pay attention to your body. Is your jaw clenched? Are your shoulders up by your ears? Are you taking shallow breaths? Do you feel that constant low-level anxiety about how things will turn out? That feeling of just pushing, like you're trying to move a boulder uphill? That's it. That's striving. Okay, so if striving is the problem, this constant pushing, what's the solution? Well, thankfully, we don't get some complicated 10-step plan. Instead, we get this incredibly simple but powerful metaphor to guide us, the way of water. And the whole thing kicks off with this simple command: observe water. That's it. If you want to understand how to live without striving, just watch how water moves through the world. I mean, just think about it for a second. A river doesn't try to get to the ocean. It just flows. And it always gets there. It doesn't pull out a map and plan its route. It just naturally finds the path of least resistance. It doesn't smash itself against a rock trying to break it. It just flows around it. Or, over time, with quiet persistence, it wears that rock down to nothing. So this really gets down to the feeling of it all. We all know what striving feels like, right? It's that tension, that gritting your teeth, that pushing against a wall. But natural action, that feels completely different. It feels like water flowing downhill. Easy, inevitable. Striving is all wrapped up in tension and worrying about the outcome. Natural action is just relaxed and totally focused on the doing itself. And this is the key takeaway here. This isn't just some nice philosophical idea to think about. It's a real practical tool. You can think of it like a master key that can unlock a better, more effective way of doing things in pretty much every part of your life. So let's bring it back to Sun Tzu's home turf, warfare. The wise general doesn't just attack because his plan says, attack now. No, he waits. He watches. He attacks when the situation creates an opening, when the enemy makes a mistake, shows a weakness. He's responding to the moment, not forcing his own timeline on it.
It's the exact same logic in business. You have the striving merchant, right? He's desperately trying to make a sale because he needs the money now. He's pushing. But the master merchant, he feels the rhythm of the market. He sells when people are scrambling to buy, and he buys when people are desperate to sell. He's flowing with the market, not fighting against it. And believe it or not, this even applies to something as personal as love. Instead of chasing someone or demanding they give you affection, the non-striver puts their energy into becoming someone worthy of love. They focus on being present, on being a good person. They attract connection. They don't try to conquer it.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? Be like water. Win without fighting. But how? How do we actually start doing this in our crazy, busy, modern lives?
Well, the very first step, and maybe the hardest one, is all in your head. We have to start unlearning this idea we've all been taught that more effort is always better. The whole hustle and grind culture? It's a total mindset shift away from believing that you can just force your way to success through sheer willpower.
So here's a super practical way to start. And you don't have to change your whole life tomorrow. Just start small. Step 1, just notice. Notice the feeling of striving when you're doing tiny things, like trying to open a stubborn jar or sitting in traffic. That's it. Just notice the tension. Step 2, when you notice it, just release. Let go of the forcing. See if there's an easier way to do it. Step 3, practice finding the right moment for action rather than just jumping in. And once you get the hang of this with the little things, you can start applying that same awareness to the much bigger challenges in your life.
All right, let's just get to the big question that I know is on your mind, because everyone asks it. Isn't this just laziness? A really fancy excuse to not do anything? And the answer, according to these texts, is a hard no. It's not laziness at all. See, a lazy person does nothing, period. But the person who lives without striving? Oh, they do everything that needs to be done. They just do it without all that extra heavy baggage of worry and ego and self-concern weighing them down. And that really brings us to the final and most powerful point. This way of being isn't about avoiding work. It's about getting so good, so in tune with reality, that your actions become incredibly effective and feel almost effortless. It's proof that what we're talking about here, it's not laziness, it's mastery.